Ibuza ari icyo nze mushyireho mwege sendera sendesirikana igipapuro ushaka ko
guhita akanda gusa gutangira atabona kujya kubishaka.
izi ntuza nawe arazifite yicano nayimwoherereje
Rero ari kwibaza rwose ko bitangira utazi ko bitaratangira ariko ngo guhita bazaye
Meg Doti Jackson niyo mpamvu tukigira cocktail test are you ready to do it? Yeah, thank you very much. Nta kibazo umuntu umwe niwe uri kubireba ari wowe cyakorera
ntegereje ka kagozi kuramo Thierry, wabikuyeho? Shyiraho ko twabanje kubiransa byatangiye. Yagushyizeho yihahitaga gusa. Nta bindi turumvira hano.
Yo creo muy
Mike.
Good morning, everybody. So please, can we have a seat so that we can start our discussion, our conference, please. So again, good morning. It's really a pleasure to have you all in this room for this important event where we'll be discussing on how we can care our children. So this really seems we are putting more important on the process of caring our children, on how really we can construct our future generation. Today, we have just one day discussion, and I will just tell you a bit what we will be discussing. This event has two main moments. The first moment will be the opening remarks, the welcoming remarks. And then the second moment will be just discussion around kinship care and child protection systems, how we can really strengthen, empower our families so that our children can remain and stay in our families, in their families. So I will not take a long time. I will invite immediately Dr. Fred Ndahiro for welcoming remarks and just introducing the event. Dr. Fred, please.
Thank you very much, Shast. Executive Secretary, National Children's Commission, and our guest of honor today, distinguished guests, dear friends and partners, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all. As Shast has just said, my name is Alfred Ndahiro, and I'm the directors of Wisengani Manzi, and I'm also a founder member. And on behalf of Wisengani Manzi and Family for Every Child, our partner and co-organizer of this conference, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to Rwanda and to this conference. Ms. Reka Nato, President of Family for Every Child, will say more about their organization and will introduce the theme of the conference. Family for Every Child is fondly known as simply family. So when I say family, you should understand, I mean Family for Every Child. I'd like to express a special word of thanks to conference participants who come from all corners of the world to be with us. I'm sure that your contributions will enrich our deliberations and give us further insights into child protection. In fact, I have no doubt whatsoever that a meeting like this one, that brings together so many people that obviously care about child protection and kinship care in our respective communities, will bring an added value to our joint efforts to address challenges that affect children in the world. To our dear family members, and you should understand, Family for Every Child, I simply say thank you. Thank you for having chosen to hold your General Assembly and these deliberations in Rwanda. Rwanda is a country commonly known as the country of 1,000 hills and 1,000,000 smiles. So when you see smiles around you, you should understand you are in Rwanda. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in Rwanda, we believe that children are a blessing. This is why the government has put children's rights high on its development agenda and has shown political commitment to improve their welfare. The thinking is that if we want to build a decent and prosperous country, we must start by ensuring that our children's rights are respected now and that they are protected from violence, exploitation, neglect, and abuse. In 2011, UNICEF said, and I quote, "Rwanda has taken significant steps to improve the legal and institutional framework for the protection of the rights of children and has been recognized as one of the leading African countries in indicators of child well-being." It was one of the first countries in the world to ratify the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Of course, given the competing priorities of the government and its meager resources, the government alone cannot meet the needs of all the children in our country, and more specifically, those of the most vulnerable children in our families. And this is where our organization, Uwisengani Manzi, comes in. Uwisengani Manzi is a Rwandan non-governmental organization created in the immediate aftermath of the genocide against the Tutsi, mainly to support and assist Rwandan children who had been orphaned by the genocide and HIV/AIDS that followed, many of whom had become heads of households. Different reports, including the reports of UNICEF, estimated that at the time in Rwanda, at the time immediately after genocide, between 45,000 and 60,000 families were living under the supervision of a child below 18 years of age. And around 300,000 children lived in those families. Furthermore, it was estimated that 90% of those families were headed by young girls without any source of income. As you would expect, in all these years, we have acquired some experience in child care and protection, and currently, Uwisengani Manzi is assisting more than 6,000 children, adolescents, and young adults are identified by local community leaders as being among the most vulnerable in their communities. We have programs in Kigali, the western, eastern, and southern provinces in Rwanda. Centers of urbanization are in Gasabo district in Kigali city, with branches in Nyanza and Rwamagana. In order to scale up our services delivery in a sustainable manner, we Familly recently launched a community-based care approach involving 5 communities, 5 schools in 3 districts of Rwanda: Kamonyi, Nyanza, and Gasabo. The aim is to build the capacity of communities themselves that live in the same neighborhood and encourage them to take part in advocacy and decision-making, and hence more effectively plan and create a relevant, protective, and educational environment for children. As the name suggests, it is community-based, involving parents and whole communities, schools in the catchment area, teachers doing more than just teaching, taking an active role in what is happening in their communities, and local authorities taking a keen interest in what is happening in their constituencies. We identify children in need of care, assess available resources, their mental health, collect demographic information such as poverty levels, family composition, and orphan status. We also receive self-reported health information. We don't seek this, we don't ask for this. For instance, children tell us if they are suffering from HIV/AIDS or if they have another serious disease. We also, excuse me. Sorry about that. We also assess the educational performance, such as school attendance records, class grades, and teacher reports on performance and behavior. We then create child protection structures. This entails setting up children's committees, parents' committees, which include obviously men and women, teachers' committees, and as I was saying earlier, we involve local authorities. The committees deal with a diversity of child protection issues such as education, sexual and gender-based violence, or care to orphans and other vulnerable children. The overall purpose of child protection groups is to work together to prevent harm to children and respond to it when it does. They are formed from community members living in the same neighborhood who know all the children who live in that neighborhood and are aware of the problems they encounter. This way, children's financial or material needs are known by everyone, and their emotional and psychological problems are addressed. Teachers work with members of the community, report on children's performance, and work with parents to identify problems and together look for solutions. Members of the committees also form self-help groups known in Kinyarwanda as Ibimina, where small amounts of money initially provided by Familly are exchanged amongst members in turn to meet short-term needs. Familly coordinates all the activities and ensures facilitation in the implementation of the project. We ensure that there is interaction between the children's committees, teachers and parents committees, and where relevant, get support from local authorities and financial institutions. Initial results show that our approach has been successful in providing basic needs for children and reducing dropout rates from school. Testimonies also show that as many as 100 children have returned to school and have been given another chance in life. We believe that this approach is succeeding because it is community-based and it is community-owned. And with proper organization, we feel that it is sustainable over the long term and that it will continue to work even when Familly phases out direct support. Distinguished conference participants, without taking much of your time, let me thank you once again for your commitment to child protection. Thank you for supporting and participating in this important international dialogue on kinship care and child protection. I know that we can continue to rely on your support in future. And we at Uisenga Nimanzi will do our best to ensure that you have fruitful and productive deliberations. Before I finish, let me tell you that Kigali is a safe and beautiful city. Have you noticed? And that Rwanda is a country of breathtaking beauty. And mind you, these are not my words. They've been said by many other people. So do take time to experience that, as well as the hospitality of the Rwandan people. I wish you all a wonderful stay amongst us, and I now invite our guest of honor to address this conference and declare it open. Thank you very much.
I'm Claudine Fuera Kanyamanza. I'm the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for the Children, but I'm here on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Gender. Protocols, guests, members of the civil society, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Gender and Family in Rwanda, and on my own behalf, I have the pleasure to welcome all our friends from different countries to feel at home in our country of 1,000 years, as I've said the chair. I thank you all for making time to attend this important forum. I thank the leadership of Uisenga Nimanzi and the Family for Every Child, as well as the partners for organizing this international dialogue on kinship care and child protection systems, which is an occasion to exchange experiences on achievements attained by different countries to create a range of solutions to the challenges faced by children living without families. Most importantly, I wish to thank two organizations for their good partnership with the government of Rwanda in the area of child rights promotion and protection. I would also like to thank the distinguished delegates from your respective countries for being with us today. My special thanks also go to our civil society organizations that have done commendable work to improve the lives of vulnerable children in our country, in addition to other initiatives. Distinguished guests, the theme for this international dialogue, Caring for Our Children, an international dialogue on kinship care and child protection systems, comes at an opportune moment. It is a time to reflect on the best practices and lessons learned in our respective countries' mechanisms on child protection. If a might share Rwanda's humble experience, the government of Rwanda has created a fitting environment for child rights protection, whereby a number of mechanisms are in place to ensure a child-friendly well-being. A strong policy, legal, and institutional framework has been established to ensure a child is raised in an appropriate manner to nurture their development into capable and responsible citizens. It is a very Rwandan commitment today to raise every child in family with the required values and standards. Through a program called To Walelele Umuryango, literally translated as Let's Raise Children in Families, Rwandan families commit to take up the children as their own. These parents are named guardian angel or malaika beings. Other achievements are reflected in the area of education, identity and nationality, family and alternative care, health and living conditions, children's justice, protection and participation in governance. Today, we have children's committees at grassroots level that facilitate them to express their views in different matters of development. Every year, children have a summit with the head of state to change on a cross range of issues concerning their rights. More details on those achievements will be shared with you during the presentations we have prepared for this forum. While the country celebrates these achievements, we also know that we still have a long way to go. This is why this dialogue is an important forum to learn from each other's experiences and further strategize for comprehensive and realistic measures to enhance children's rights. Distinguished guests, to ensure a better future, the best option is to invest in children. As the theme suggests, we are here to share knowledge, experiences, practices, and challenges from our local and national contexts about kinship care and child protection systems so as to recommit to establish an enduring framework to sustain the gains registered so far. I trust that this forum brings on board the different expertise that will help all of us to come up with concrete strategies on improving and strengthening children's rights in our respective countries. As I end my remarks, I wish to reiterate the commitments of the government of Rwanda in promoting and protecting children's rights while partnering with all of you in attaining this noble goal in a sustainable way. Together, we can create a better future through promoting of our children. I once again thank the organizers and all of you here present for the countries, for the countless efforts in making this event a success. It is on this note that on behalf of Honorable Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, I declare the International Dialogue on Kinship Care and Child Protection Systems officially opened. And let me wish you beautiful deliberations. Thank you and enjoy your stay.
Thank you very much, guest of honor, and Dr. Fred Ndahiro for this welcoming remarks and somehow some experiences from Uisengans from Rwanda. I would like to let you know, in the room, we have some people who don't understand English. And we have some translators who are translating in Portuguese, in Spanish, in Russian. So if you hear some people talking, they are not disturbing. They are just helping people. And I would like to know if also there is someone who cannot understand English and who does not have somebody to help so that you can find. Is there anyone who maybe knows only French? It's okay, we are all comfortable. So now we are starting deeper discussions, and we will be starting with Rwandan context, and to invite Francois from National Commission for Children to share deeply what are the experience of Rwanda. So he will be presenting kinship care in the context of wider child protection care in Rwanda. Please, Francois.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me for this wonderful international dialogue. I'm Francois Bisegimana, as Mr. Shasta has said. I'm the Director of Adoption, Protection and Promotion of Child Rights for the National Commission for Children. Yeah, I was complaining for a mobile mic because I don't like standing to the same point. I like moving around, especially when talking about child protection and about children without yet. So the presentation that I was asked to share with you is all about the national context on kinship care towards the global child protection. Normally, kinship care is one of the alternative care offerings that one is exploiting, of course, as it's, of course, implementing the child care reform, as it has been, of course, approved by the Cabinet of Ministers in 2012. That is something we'll go through. So, of course, we have some experiences on that. So, so that is, of course, the title of the presentation. Yeah, the short outline of this presentation will be having a small background on kinship care in Rwanda. We'll talk a little bit about the strategy for national child care reform in Rwanda, which is of course the real strategy that is of course using kinship care as one of the best options for the placement of children without appropriate parental care. We'll also have a look at kinship care itself. We'll have a current status of kinship care in Rwanda. I will also review some common reasons, especially for Rwanda, that lead to the placement of children to kinship care. We'll look at the benefits as Rwanda. We'll also highlight some key challenges and way forward so that we can cover for those challenges and a small conclusion. Going into the background of this thing, normally, thank you, I highly appreciate it. Normally, the crucial reason for children in Rwanda to be in a situation in need of kinship care is the genocide against the Tutsi. Because after the genocide against the Tutsi, so many children felt without parental care, felt orphaned. And then that's the reason why so many kinds of arrangements, so many kinds of solutions were sought, including, of course, but not limited to the run for institutions. So many children have been placed into institutions, commonly known as orphanages, at that time, because there were so many orphans, and it was not really possible. It was not really easy to get some parents to care for those children, especially that they were so much disorder caused by that genocide. So, so that's why normally if we go to the situation in 2012, especially as shown by the census itself, we can see that the population of children vis-a-vis the total population of the country is very big. So you can see more than 5 million, you can see. And 16% of them are single orphans. You can see it's not really a small percentage. Yeah. So now 3% are double orphans of two parents. So that means that, of course, appropriate actions to care for those children, to make them profit from their rights to a family is of paramount consideration for the government of Rwanda. So that's why, of course, before 2012 especially, that institutionalization was found as the quickest kind of option for those children. Next. Thank you. So now, after institutionalization, after now the country is organized, after the country is just building itself, it's just rebuilding itself because it was completely demolished. Now people have put together ideas and they have tried to assess maybe the current situation of children institutions and realized that really for me it was not the best place to have our children raised. So that's why in 2012 in March, then the cabinet of ministers have found it very, very crucial to try to change really the way children were cared for. So that's why that strategy for national child care reform was approved by the cabinet of ministers. For what reason? To make sure all the resources, the human resources, the financial resources, the material resources are oriented towards strengthening the families and making sure every child leaves the family, so that maybe that option of moving children to institutions will be about children. The other objective of that strategy was to make sure the good culture or the original values of treating every child as your own that was embedded in the Rwandese culture should be revived or should be regained through different programs, of course, starting from the reintegration of children living in the institutions, commonly known as orphanages. So it started in 2012 with that approval. So from there, it was a strategy, it was big, it was showing a vision, a bigger vision. But what could implement the strategy itself? What framework could be followed to orient all interveners in child protection to make sure that strategy is implemented? It's the landmark Tuareg mu Muryango program. Tuareg mu Muryango program is a Rwandan denomination that can be translated into let's raise the children into families. So that program has been, of course, developed as a framework program for the implementation of the national child care reform. So that program then started with the reintegration of children into families, especially those ones who are living in the orphanages. So many options were to be exploited. There might be some reunification because it was realized that more than 80% of the children in institutions had either parents, biological parents, or relatives that could really receive the children and make them profit from that good right of living and caring and working family. So, apart from reunification, of course, some other options have been exploited and are still being exploited because children is still running, including, of course, kinship, adoption, and foster care. Next. So now, what is the status of kinship then in Rwanda? The definitions are general, of course, but all of them are moved towards having a child being cared not by a biological parent, but a relative or someone with a relationship or a prior relationship of that child. So, how are we exploiting that option which keeps relationship with the relatives, with the family members, with the people who have been at least in contact with the child? Next. Normally, from 2012, there were so many children in the orphanages. But since 2012, of course, after the approval of the Source Information Child Care Reform, more than 1,800 children have been reintegrated into families from the institutions. So, about 60%, more than 1,000, I have said, have been reunified with their families, with their relatives, or close friends. So that is, to me, 60% is all around kinship care. So the rest, of course, have been placed using the other alternative care settings, including adoption and foster care. The program is not all about placing children. It includes all those strategies and mechanisms that help children to continue living in those families and living well and preventing any further institutionalization. Through follow-up, through community awareness raising, to make sure the community, of course, restores that good value of treating every child their own, so that relatives can arrange themselves to receive children who are orphans due to various reasons, diseases, or any other thing that can make the parents die. So those are the common reasons, of course, that we're maybe starting to explore. There might be imprisonment of parents because of some crimes may be committed. That's leaving a child without a parental care outside the home. There could be death of parents, as of course, especially due to genocide, especially in our history against the Tutsi. Parents voluntarily giving up the custody due to illness, especially chronic illness that cannot make the parent capable of caring for the children. There might be abandonment of children, which is the responsibility part of it. There could be some abuse, some neglect of children by the biological parents. Rarely, it happens. Yeah, it goes back to the responsibility, and it might be some financial stability that can maybe make the parent be capable of meeting the basic needs of the child. So now, what do we register as a benefit from kinship care? Normally, kinship care, after the biological care setting, is actually the option which keeps still the relationship between the child and some people or somebody who has some kind of connection with that child. So it brings some increased stability and safety because the connections are to some extent maintained. Some connections, some linkages with the social values of the family, the attitudes, the arrangements there. So it is actually an option which brings some stability to the children. And it decreases some institutional placement because as the parent dies or as the parent loses the responsibility to take care of the child, then the relatives are ready to arrange themselves very quickly, and there is no risk of having the child going to institution and face those disadvantages of the institutions that you already know. Yeah, the connection to the communities. So if the child does not leave the community, so it's very easy to profit from that community. It's very easy to communicate and to interact with the available resources because he or she is already embedded in that community and is already connected to some extent and is already familiar with the existing resources. Rather than having maybe him or her being placed in another environment which will need some other new adaptations that can complicate his or her life. When the child is in kinship care around there, then it's probable that the child might be reunified, especially for those abandoned children. Because at the time of abandonment, no one knows the biological parent of the child. But when the child remains in the vicinity of the family or maybe close to the family and the relatives, or if they are of course traced, then there is potential unification with the biological parent. But if a child is placed maybe far, I'm talking about the relationships. If the child is far, it's a bit complicated. It can even be more complicated when, as far as the unification with the both parents is concerned. Next. So there are some challenges, of course, and some challenges are related especially on the perceptions that might be around. Some foster carers might be afraid of receiving children because they think the perception around could maybe not favor them, or maybe thinking they cannot be able to care for the children the way they care for theirs. That's maybe limiting some willingness of relatives and friends to see the children from their neighbors. They feel also there is also little commitment for the carers to legalize, of course, the kinship prayer, so that maybe stability can also can be stronger. Thus, maybe causing some kind of instability for the child and maybe for the family of reception. But those challenges can be addressed. Solutions are in the community. The community can arrange itself for any kind of care they can provide to children without parental care. So that's why our vision as International Commission for Children and the government of Rwanda Gender is to strengthen the community and make it capable of managing its own programs, including, of course, the children without appropriate care down there. So that's why we are looking at local leaders. They are leading the community down there. But are they provided with enough skills and resources, be it financial, be it skills or whatever, to deal with maybe those cases, or maybe to sort out those problems down there relating to placement of children into alternative care settings? So that's why we are envisioning to put up a structure down there of community-based volunteers who can still support the community through regular visits, through regular psychosocial support services, so that families, communities can continuously get that support, so that follow-up on children, integrated follow-up on children who might need some kind of alternative care, all those things, so that all those things can be done at the community level. So we would like to mobilize all resources down there to strengthen our communities so that everything can be done. Follow up on children, the identification of those children who might need some kind of alternative care, the identification of causes of separation of children with their families, the identification of families at risk, maybe due to abuse, due to neglect, the risk of abandonment, all those things can be identified before they can happen. So we find it as a solution. So, as a conclusion, actually, we see kinship as really the best alternative care option for the reasons that have been highlighted, for the stability, for the connections that we have stated. But there is need, of course, of continuously sensitizing the community, so that's why we want to decentralize all those child care services down there in the community, so that, of course, kinship can be prioritized by themselves. Of course, taking care of every child as your own, it's embedded in the Rwandese culture. What is needed is like reviving it, is like strengthening it, is like mobilizing all actors, including, of course, the families themselves, to support that. So, of course, everything will be done if we can mobilize resources together, be it the government resources, be it the partners resources, development programs resources, so that, of course, we can together promote kinship care as the base of the alternative care settings. So thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, Francois, for the very good presentation. And really, I think the room will have now a clear understanding on what is being done here in Rwanda. But now I know there's some who have like comments, question, observation. I would like to ask you to stay with them. We really have, just after the coffee break, we have a very good moment of discussions where we'll be having a panel discussion. Francois will be here so that he can give you some clarification where you need. Now, I would like to invite Leka, President of Family for Every Child. We always say the Family for Every Child. It's better to know who we are, because we think also is a family. Leka, please.
Can you hear me? My name is Leka Nathu. I have the honor of being president of Family for Every Child. And I wish to greet all our honorable guests, our speakers, our delegates, and in South Africa, as we say, with all due international and local protocol observed. First of all, I wish to thank Shasta and his team from Hussein Manzi, I hope I've got the pronunciation right, I've been practicing, for hosting this amazing event and the Family General Assembly. My job is very simple today. It's just to give you a bit of background as to who and what Family for Every Child is. So, who are we as an alliance? Essentially, we're a global alliance of local civil society organizations that work together to improve the lives of vulnerable children across the world. The key word there is international, and the second key word is local. Because we're local organizations working on an international agenda. What do we believe as Family for Every Child? It's very simple. We believe in a world where more children can grow up in safe and protected families, or be provided with an alternative care if needed. I have changed it. I can see here in the comments slightly, but it is here. Essentially, it's about children. It's about, essentially, it's about children growing up in safe and protected environments. Can everyone hear me? Okay. No. I'll try better. So how do we do this? First of all, we do it by being member-led. It's not about an international agenda leading us. It's about what is happening in Rwanda, what do we need in Rwanda, and how can the members assist Rwanda with what's going on and what can we learn from that. Secondly, we believe in democracy, transparency and accountability to our members, and ultimately to our beneficiaries. We do robust research globally. But we don't do robust research where we get somebody from Germany or a European country. We get experts to come and assist us to do the research where we are, with our beneficiaries. We ensure that children's participation and children's voices are heard at all times. We harness the skills of our members, our local members, and we share that knowledge and we share that skill. We implement joint strategies, so we work together collectively to implement a common goal. We work to improve our practice continuously, and we call ourselves a learning organization. We want to achieve, what do we want to achieve? Greater global influence regarding global issues. We don't want other people telling us what's happening in our country. We know what's happening in our country. We want people to help us in our country.
to take that agenda elsewhere. And we want to achieve greater impact. Today's event essentially is an example of every single thing that I've said. I don't know about you, but in South Africa, when they say you are going to an international conference, guess where I'm traveling to? New York, London, Vienna. I'm in Rwanda. And that should say it all in terms of what Family for Every Child does and stands for. We have over 20 countries represented here today in Rwanda. So let me not talk about Family for Every Child, but let you experience this amazing dialogue that we have. And I'm hoping that together at the end of this, we can make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rika. I think I'm looking, you may be a bit tired. So let us have just coffee break. And then after coffee break, we will have that second moment, just discussion, dialogue. It's a dialogue, it's not a presentation, it's not a course, it's a dialogue. You know, all of us have experience and good ideas. So we want just after coffee break really to have those ideas. So the coffee break is just downstairs. There are some people from hotel who will guide you. We have just 15 minutes and then we'll come back for the next session. Thank you very much. 15 minutes. Someone telling me that 15 minutes is not enough.
Let's try.
Let's try like 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So we are running out of time. So I think we'll try to have that coffee break in 20 minutes. Thank you. Sorry, I have another communique. We need a group photo. So we have it just downstairs. There's some people who will just guide us where we'll be having that group photo. Thank you.
kofi yatanze abone ko yabifashe